This is our fourth and final video for the coordinate geometry essential skill for integrated 1. So follow along with the directions down the right hand side with the worksheet, and then when you are done with this, these you-try problems, I want you, well, done with the video, I want you to do the you-try problems. So we know that D is the midpoint of AC. All right, if it's the midpoint, then that means the distance from D to A and the distance from D to C are going to be the same. Likewise, E is the midpoint of BC, so the distance from E to B is the same as the distance from E to C. All right, we have midsegment here. So what we want to do is we want to find the two sides that are parallel to each other, so the non-marked sides. And I like to focus on going from the smaller side to the larger side. So we know that the ratio for midsegment is going to be times 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that short segment in the middle, the 5x minus 1. We are going to double that using the ratio that we've already found, which is true for every midsegment of a triangle. And we're going to set it equal to the larger one. Okay, from here, let's go ahead and solve this thing. So I'm going to distribute my 2. Well, it's going to give me a 10x minus 2 is equal to 58. And then let's start moving this stuff over to the other side. So my 2's are going to cancel. 10x drops straight down. 58 plus 2 gives me 60. Let's get rid of the little dot in front, so we don't want to get it confused with the decimal point, which it is not. And then we're going to divide by 10. Once we divide by 10, type this in the calculator, it looks like we're going to get x is equal to 6. Now, I want to make sure that I followed the directions here. I want to calculate the value of x. Okay, looks like I'm done with that one. All right, moving on to the next one. A little bit more complicated, kind of got a lot going on. So let's take a look at this. M is the midpoint of JK. All right, so the distance from M to J and the distance from M to K are the same. All right, let's see. N is the midpoint of KL. All right, so from N to K and N to L are going to be the same. I want to calculate the lengths of x and z, and we want to figure out how long ML is. Okay, there's a lot going on here. All right, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is the midsegment part. So I'm going to find the two sides that are parallel. I'm going to take the shorter side from the middle, and to get to the longer side, I'm going to times by 2. So let's take the 1 in the middle, so the 2x plus 1. We're going to double that, and we need to set it equal to the 8x minus 2. Go through the same process we just did a second ago. Let's go ahead and distribute. It's going to give me 4x plus 2 is equal to 8x minus 2. All right, I'm going to move my 8x. I prefer to have my x's on the left-hand side, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So it's going to give me a negative 4x, drop the plus 2 straight down, drop the negative 2 straight down. I'm getting a little worried because it looks like I'm going to have a negative x, but remember, even if you have a negative x, as long as it mathematically still works out to give you a non-negative length, you're good. Oh, this one's fine anyway. We're going to divide by negative 4. Looks like x is going to be equal to 1. Okay, so that's one of my answers. I solved for x. I also need to solve for z. All right, let's take a look back at the picture. If you take a look at the picture where z is located, notice that 3z is on this orange side length, but z plus 22 is on this side length. But we already determined that those are congruent because of midpoint. So I think we need to set those guys equal to each other. So I'm going to take my 3z and I'm going to set it equal to z plus 22. I'm not going to double it because it's along that same side. They are going to be congruent to each other. All right, so let's solve for z. So I'm going to subtract z. That gives me a 2z. I'll put a little line through my c there so I don't get it confused with my 2. Divide by 2. Okay. My z. Looks like that's going to be 11. So we've got z. All right. So taken care of. X is taken care of. Z is taken care of. All right, it looks like we still need to do the length of ML. So ML Ooh, that's going to be a typo. We don't have a length of ML. Let's call this JL. Sorry about that mistake. So let's call this JL. So make sure that you make that correction on your worksheet. All right, so JL is going to be, I'm kind of color coding it in green, is 8x minus 2. So JL was defined as 8x minus 2. All right, well, I know what x is, so let's go ahead and plug it in. So x is 1. Let me do the math. Looks like JL is going to be equal to 6. Now, attempt the U-try problems, and you should be okay. Once you have the whole thing done, make sure you get it turned in.